dear students, in our previous class, we had already started the chapter 3 of our history book, which is all about the Delhi Sultans. So today in this particular period, I will explain you all about the rulers of Delhi. Delhi was first became the capital of a kingdom under the Tomara Rajputs. Okay, so Tomara Rajputs were the rulers who had made Delhi as their capital. Tomaras were further defeated by the Chauhans of Ajmer, and in this way the Chauhans, which were also known as Sahamanas, they established their kingdom in Delhi. Under Tomaras and Chauhans, Delhi became an important commercial center. Trade system developed in the territory of Delhi. Many rich Jain merchants also started living in the city of Delhi, and they constructed several temples. Coins were minted here, and the coins were called Delhi Wal. Just try to remember the name. Coins minted here called Delhi Wal. It had a wide circulation. The best known Sahamana ruler was Prithviraj III. I hope you remembered in our previous chapter we had known about Prithviraj III, how he was defeated by Muhammad Ghori in the year 1192. So, Delhi was transformed into a capital under the Delhi Sultans in the beginning of the 13th century. In this way, the Delhi Sultan established their kingdom in Delhi. The Delhi Sultans built many cities in the area that we know as Delhi. So, in this chapter, you will know about Delhi, which is in the northern part of India. So, in our previous chapter, we had covered up about the southern part of India, the Cholas. I hope you remembered. Now, in this chapter, you will know about the rulers who ruled in the northern part of India. And they were the Delhi Sultans. So, Delhi was transformed into a capital under the Delhi Sultans in the beginning of 13th century. Try to remember. The Delhi Sultans built many cities in the area that we know as the part of Delhi. Now you can see a map showing on your screen. So this is the map where you can see the territories ruled by the Sultans of Delhi. And on the other hand, you can see a picture of a ruler of the Delhi Sultanate. Rulers of Delhi. So Delhi was first ruled by the Tomaras, as I have described about it just now. And Anangapala was the ruler who made Delhi as the capital. Okay, so Anandapala was the first ruler who belongs to the Tomara dynasty. And what he did, he made Delhi as the capital. Then Anangapala was defeated by the Chauhans of Ajmer. Or you can say defeated by Prithviraj Chauhan. And in this way, Chauhans established their kingdom in the area of Delhi. After that, Prithviraj III was defeated by Muhammad Ghori, and in this way, early Turkish rulers or the era of the Delhi Sultan started. Qutbuddin Aibak was the first ruler, of the Delhi Sultan or Delhi Sultanate dynasty. So after Qutbuddin Aibak, Samshuddin Iltutmish was the ruler. Then the daughter of Iltutmish, Rajia, became the next ruler, and after Razia, Ghiyasuddin Balban was the ruler of early Turkish dynasty. After the early Turkish dynasty, actually five dynasty ruled over the territory of Delhi, and these five dynasties were known as the Delhi Sultanate dynasties. Okay, first was early Turkish rulers, Kutubuddin Aybak, then Shamsuddin Iltutmish, then Razia Sultan, then Ghiyasuddin Balban. After that, the Khalji dynasty was established in 1290, and the most powerful rulers of the Khalji dynasty were Jalaluddin Khalji and Alauddin Khalji. Then the Khalji dynasty ended in 1320. After that, Tughlaq dynasty was established in 1320. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq ruled over Delhi from 1320 to 1324. After that, Muhammad Tughlaq became the ruler. Then Firuz Shah Tughlaq became the ruler, or you can say the last ruler of the Tughlaq dynasty. Okay, then the Tughlaq dynasty came to an end. Okay, so Firoz Shah Tughlaq was the last powerful ruler actually of the Tughlaq dynasty. Then Tughlaq dynasty came into an in 1414. Then Sayyid dynasty was established by Khizr Khan. After Khizr Khan, Lodi dynasty was established by Behrul Lodi. Okay, so Behrul Lodi established the Lodi dynasty in the year 1451, and the Lodi dynasty continued till 1526. So this was the history of the rulers of Delhi Sultanate. Okay, so now our next topic is finding out about the Delhi Sultans. So what were the sources from where we had known about the Delhi Sultans? The sources were inscriptions, coins, and architectural monuments, remains, which provide lots of information about the Delhi Sultans. Especially valuable histories called Tariq or Tawarik in plural, written in Persian language it tells us about administration under the Delhi Sultans. So it gives us about the idea of administration under the Delhi Sultans. Which gives us an idea of it? Tariq or Tawarik. Okay, and Tariq or Tawarik was written in which language? Persian language, and it gives us idea of what? The administrative system of Delhi Sultans. The author of Tawarik were learned men. Okay, they were knowledgeable person, and they were even the secretaries, administrators, poets, and courtiers who both recounted events and advised the rulers. That means they were also part of the administrative system, and they used to write about their rulers in the Persian language. Now, three main points, okay, which gives us an idea of Tawarik. So, the authors of Tawarik lived in cities, mainly the Delhi area. Okay, they used to live in the Delhi area and hardly ever in villages. So most of the authors of Tawarik lived in the city area, or you can say lived in Delhi. They often wrote their histories for sultans in the hope of rich rewards, so that they will get some kind of gifts, some kind of reward. In that hope, they used to write about the histories for sultans. This is the second point of Tawarik, which tells us about the authors of Tawarik. Okay, so three main points which gives us an idea of the authors of Tawarik. First point, just now I said that they used to live in the city area. Second point, they often used to write histories for sultans in the hope that they will get rich rewards. Then point number 3, these authors advise rulers on the need to preserve ideal social order based on birthright and gender distinctions. Their ideas were not shared by everybody. Okay, so point number 3, these authors, they used to advise the rulers on the preservation of their social order based on birthright and gender distinctions. In 1236, Sultan Iltutmi's daughter Razia became the next sultan. Okay, the chronicle of the age. Okay, the chronicle of the age, Minhas-e-Siraj, recognized that the chronicler of the age, and his name was what? Minhas-e-Siraj. He recognized that she was more capable and qualified than her brothers. But all the people were not comfortable with her as the ruler, nor the nobles were happy with her. So she was removed from the throne in the year 1240. So this is an important evidence. Okay, the chronicler Minhas-e-Siraj, whatever he has written was one of the important evidence, and it tells us that Razia Sultan, she became the next sultan. She was capable from all her brothers, but then also the people and the nobles were not happy with her. They doesn't want to be under the control of female or queen. So she was removed from the throne in the year 1240. And you can also see two pictures showing on your screen. One of the picture was of Sultan Iltutmish and the other of Razia Sultan. Okay, these were the pictures. Now that's all in today's part. I hope you have understood. But if you have any kind of doubt, feel free to contact me. Okay, so what you had known about the different dynasties who ruled over the territory of Delhi. In this chapter you are getting an idea of the rulers who ruled in the northern part of India. Then we came to know about the sources like Tawarik, isn't it? So inscription, coins and architectural remains are also the sources, but beside from that, Tawarik was one of the relevant source which tells us about the Delhi Sultans. And this Tawarik, they used to live in the city areas. They often wrote their histories for sultans in the hope of rich rewards. They also gave advice to the sultans or rulers of the Delhi Sultanate in order to preserve an ideal social order based on birthright and gender distinction. Then we had known about the chronicler of the age of medieval era, one of the most important chronicler of the age, Minhas-e-Siraj. And what was there? What he had recognized? He had recognized that Iltutmish's daughter, okay, Razia Sultan, she was more capable and qualified than all her brothers. But she was removed from the throne in 1240 AD. Why? Because nobles and people were not happy with her. They doesn't want to be under the control of a queen as their ruler. So that's all. Thank you. Have a nice day ahead. And please go through the topics which I have explained you all just now.